Hi, and welcome to my site. This is teacher Linda G with a bit more information on Canada's immigration pathways. Now, it's important for you to know that I am not an immigration officer. I am a teacher. So you still need to do your research, and I will provide you with some information on this video. So Canada extends a warm welcome to skilled workers through specialized immigration programs tailored to your unique qualifications and experiences. Today, I'm going to talk about the Atlantic Immigration Pilot, AIP. It's an exciting and innovative pathway alongside the more established Canadian Experience Class, CEC. While the CEC recognizes those with Canadian work experience, the AIP is designed to meet the distinct needs of employers in the Atlantic provinces, fostering economic growth and addressing specific labor market demands. The AIP offers a remarkable opportunity for skilled workers and international graduates seeking to contribute their expertise to a region renowned for its unique culture and breathtaking landscapes. Employers in the Atlantic Canada actively participate in the program, helping candidates secure job offers that align with the region's economic priorities. So now let's take a look at the website. And you'll notice that I'm back to the canada.ca site. Now you want to check out my other videos because I'm referring to the same site. So from here, it's probably just easier to type in AIP in the search engine here. So I've added AIP. And from here, you do get to see all the different links. I'm going to just go to the first one here. This gives you the process. So it gives you information about the program, right? It contains the policy, procedures, and guidance used by the staff. So there's on this page, you'll also find the intake process, processing process. Well, let's take a look at the intake process first. Application process and who could apply, who can apply. Who can apply submitting an application? So who can apply? Well, you're eligible to apply if you are a foreign national who has the ability to become economically established in Atlantic Canada. And if you intend on living in one of the Atlantic provinces, and of course, if you meet all of the following data. Provincial endorsement, minimum education, language proficiency. This is an important one. You might have all the experience possible, but if you don't meet the language proficiency, then you won't be able to find a job. I'm going to click on this because I am curious as to what the language requirements are. All right, so it says here for a job offer at the Knox skill type 0 or level A or B, you need to provide a language test. You need to have certain requirements. You need to meet the minimum requirement of level 5 of the Canadian language benchmark system in English or in French. It's a little bit of a different one. So let's just take a look at what it says here for language test. Then I'll come back to this part here. All right. How you prove your language ability. I'm not going to go through all of this here with you, but here's one of the ways to measure your language skills by looking at the Canadian language benchmarks. And of course, that brings us to a new website. There's an English version and a French version. And it does give you here some resources, workshops and training, but of course, you can also work with a teacher, a tutor that will help you with that. You want to make sure that when you meet with your tutor that she is familiar or he's familiar with this assessment process. Now let me go back to the previous page. And then language tests that they accept. All right, so they do accept different ones. This is one that I'm very familiar with, IELTS, the International English Language Testing System. I'm very familiar with this one. This is definitely one that I can help you with. Now, notice here, they don't accept the academic test. You must take the general training test. Now, with the IELTS, there is the general and the academic. You have to take the general assessment, something I can definitely help you with. If you are applying in one of the French-speaking provinces, namely Quebec, you need le test d'évaluation de français. Now, while I do speak French, I'm fluently bilingual, I don't help my students with the French test. I help them with the English one. All right, so we know that there are different ones that are accepted, and in my case, I'm more familiar with this one, and I can help you more with this one. So these are all things, of course, you want to check if you're applying for the Atlantic Immigration Program. I'm just going to go back to a page. We were talking about language testing. I'm going back again. And of course, here, language is an important piece. And so is education. Here it does talk about a Canadian post-secondary. Now, a lot of the students that I've met in the past moved to Canada to eventually live here, but they also moved as a student. So they applied to be a student. And so this was also helpful to them because here it does say that the applicant must have either a Canadian one-year post-secondary education, if they have a job offer, if you have a job offer, or you need to get your education assessed if you've studied outside of Canada to confirm, this is an important piece, to confirm that your studies are equal to or higher than a Canadian first year post-secondary. This is important. I have met, when I was an employment consultant, I met a lot of clients who did not have their educational credential assessed. And so they had to take some job positions that they weren't necessarily qualified for. They were overqualified for some of these positions while they returned to school. So make sure that if you do study outside of Canada, and you probably are if you're listening to this video, that you have an assessment done. This can take work, and it's a lot easier to get it done in your country because you're able to access the documentation much easier in your country than if you were in Canada and having to contact your school, for example, your school, from the country where you're from. Now, it also says you must have either this or a Canadian high school diploma if they have a job offer, if you have a job offer, or if you studied outside of Canada, and ECA, which is the Educational Credential Assessment. So either way, you need to get your education assessed. Now here it does provide other information, and I'm not going to go through this all with you. I expect that now that you know which site to go on, that you can do this on your own. Now, if you do need help to understand what it says, I'm a teacher. I can help you with the reading, but I can also help you with the language assessment because I'm qualified to help you with the IELTS as well. I'm here to help you. I'm not an immigration officer at all. I am here to help you succeed, move to Canada if required. And yes, we could read this information together so that you can understand the requirements. And of course, I can help you with the language assessment as well. For that, I'm just going to stop sharing here and tell you for that information, send me an email at backinthegrooveagain@gmail.com. and I'll send you information about my services. All right. And that was the last video of the series. I hope that you found this very helpful. Take care now. Bye-bye.